Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing. So guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this two-piece trouser and top. So this structured top. So this is has been a very highly requested tutorial. A lot of you have been asking for me to make it, and today I have decided to do it. Okay, so guys, so I decided to make this tutorial very detailed, so I'm going to be dividing it. So we're going to start with the pattern drafting, so I'll be able to carry everyone along. So that's the essence of doing this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now, we want to start drafting our pattern. So we're going to start with the back pattern, and then you have. So guys, please like this video. I would really appreciate that. And if you have not subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe to my channel. Share the video with your friends, with your loved ones. So the first thing we're going to do now, we're going to add our shoulder measurement. So the measurement is 15, like you can see on the screen. I'm going to add 1 inch to it for allowance. So I'll divide that 15 into 2. I have 7.5. I'll mark it there, and then I'll come down by 1 inch. So and then just create a shoulder slope, and then from that shoulder slope I'll come down by 8 inches. So that's that point there. Yes, that's 8 inches, and then I'll just connect that line straight like that, just to create the armhole. So the next thing, I'm going to add my bust measurement. So my bust is 36. I'll divide 36 into 4. Yes, so that line is will still serve as chest line. So I'll divide 36 into 4, and then I'm going to place the measurements on that line now, which is serving as my chest lines, and then I'll add allowance. I'll add 1 inch allowance for my dart, and then 2 inches for the sewing. So I'm just adding, like, basically I'm adding 3 inches allowance on that part. Yes, so the next thing, I want to connect the armhole line, so that would now help as a guide on where to stop the armhole. So it will stop on that bust line point. So I'll just mark that and then connect it to the bust line like that. So then the next line I'm going to add measurement is the under bust, which is 30. So I'll divide 30 into 4. I'll have 7.5, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for my allowance. So I'll add that 1 inch and then add another 2 inches, just like we did for the top part. That's all 3 inches. I'll mark it, and then I'll come to the waistline. I'm using 34. You divide 34 into 4, you mark it, and then add 1 inch for your that, and then 2 inches for the stitching allowance. Okay, so just ignore the curve on the pattern paper, just follow what I'm saying. Okay, so now I'm just going to mark it like that. So I'm connecting the lines, and that's after marking all the points. So I connected them together, and then the next line is the hip line, which is 40. Divide 40 into 4, and then add your allowance to it. Okay, so and then connect it, just extend it down. So by the way, the full length of this blouse is actually 26 inches. So I'll come to the neckline. So I'll use 3 inches width for the neckline, and then 1 inch depth, because it has a collar which we are going to add later. So I'll just connect 3 by 1 inches. So you can see I've connected it that way. The next thing now, I want to take out my, I don't want my back piece, because it's not going to have a zip at the back. So I want to take out it so that it does not have a bulge. So I'll take out half of an inch from that back piece. But before I do that, I want to mark my dart line. So the dart lines, I'm using 4.5 inches. Yes, okay, you just understand. So I'll use 4.5 inches, because I'll take out half of an inch from the other side. So I'll mark the 4.5 inches. Just watch what I'm doing. I'll mark the 4.5 inches like this, which I'm going to use. So now I'm taking out half inch from that center back on the under bust line. So that's half inch. And then that half inch, I'm going to blend it to the down part like that. So just see. Yes, I was just trying to arrange my pattern curve properly. So I'll blend it to the top points like that, and then blend it to the down parts like this. So just to make it to, it will not have a bulge at the back, even though I'm not putting a zip at the back. The zip is at the front of the design. Okay, so now I'm using a shoulder dart. So what is remaining on that shoulder line, I'll mark it. I'll divide it into two. Just place my ruler and then just connect it just to, yes, create a slant like that. So this will serve as my dart line. So that part I just want to blend it. Okay, so the next thing now, we are done. So let's just cut this out. We are done for the back pattern. If you notice, I did not cut out. So that's the slope area. That's the bulge area. I did not cut out the neckline. Most times I usually don't like cutting it out until when I'm ready to transfer. Okay, so that's for the back piece. The next thing now, bring my front pattern. So if I have already marked the pattern, is the same thing. I'm just going to explain it. You can see I'm placing it to show you. It's the same thing that I did for the back that I'm doing for the front. So the same pattern. But now we have about 1 inch for the front piece. So I'm going to use for my zip allowance. So you can use 2 inches, depends on what you want. So that's that extra line you can see there. The next thing I want to take out our dart. So for the front part, we're going to add a little bit of curve to it to give it, because it's so that it will have shape. So I'm using 4 inches for my dart lines. Okay, so after marking it on all of the points, on the waistline, on the hip line, on the underbust line, I'm going to connect it with a straight ruler. So you can see I'm connecting it with a straight ruler. After connecting it with a straight ruler, I'll come to that shoulder part. What is remaining after measuring the neckline? You divide it into two. They just mark the center point, yes, and then you mm, connect that line to it to give you your shoulder dart. Okay, so like I said, I'm blending it, yes. So because I don't want my pattern to be too flat, so I'm going to take out 1 inch of that from that point. So if you notice, for the front one, I'm using 1.5 inch dart. Okay, so now mark it like that, and then I would connect it. Sorry, I'm using 1.5 inch on that point just to create that curve, yes. So you can see, so that's just simple how it is. So the next thing is just for me to cut this out. That's how easy the pattern is. So like I said, I'll use 1.5 inch on that point. You can use 1 inch. So I did not want to add a bust dart to this. So you can actually add a bust dart to this pattern if you want to, but I just don't want to. I want to have all my seams, everything straightened out. Okay, so now I'm trying to cut this off. So this will be the center part of our piece. Okay, so and see that line there, like I explained, that's for the zip at the front. So the next thing, I want to elongate the my pattern. I want to elongate it so that I'll be able to create that design. That's the curve at the down part. Okay, so I've added to my pattern. So I'm going to use the front piece. So the length, the full length I'm using for this is about 26 inches because of that curve. If you see the blouse is a very long blouse. So I'll just mark it that way. The next thing, I'll come to this part. I'll come as far as 3 inches. You can see I'm using coming up by 3 inches because you need to make that curve to be very defined. Okay, you can even come as much as 3.5, and then you place your pattern curve like this, and then just curve it to the down part. Make sure that that center, you are not taking out anything from that center part. Just like float it into that point like that. Okay, so after floating it, I'm going to take my back piece. I'll place them together. Remember, I have zip allowance for my front piece, so I'll place it to make sure that the zip allowance is just to make sure that all of the side seam that they align, and that's the better way. Just so you can see I'm trying to align everything. Okay, yes, so I'll use one cut to like cut everything off from it. So after cutting, you can see the beautiful curve, so you can see. And then the next thing, I'm going to open up my piece. You remember I taped it together, so I'll just open that up like that, and then you can see the pattern is already looking good. So from your pattern, you will know where you are going to. If it is looking good, if it's looking weird, just stop it and do it again. Okay, you can see the pattern is looking fine already. So with that, you know that the dress will be fine. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can see how it looks. So please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. Like my video, like this video. I would appreciate if you hit on the like button. So guys, in the next video, we're going to transfer to the fabric. So I will see you next. All right. Bye. Bye bye.